was genuinely watching Richard and Judy. I was nearly afraid to say anything in case he missed something. He was eating Rice Krispies, like he was on his way out to work in a minute or something. As if, you know. And he suddenly starts saying, still not looking at me, about how last Friday a guy from a band from Donamead had called down with this small goth girl who was a notorious slut. And your man was in the back room with Davy, jamming on these two basses that were in there. And your one asked Speedy if he has any hash, and he had. So they went up to the box room and had a spliff, and all of a sudden they got stuck into each other, having a sneaky ride. And Speedy was trying to listen out to hear if he could still hear your man jamming with Davy and he wasn't coming up, but your one was starting to make so much noise that Speedy just got too nervous. So he just went into the jacks and pulled himself off. And he said all this to me, just like that. And I'm just sitting there, staring at the side of his head, thinking there was nothing that he could ever say that could interest me, beyond the terrible notion that I cared absolutely nothing for this fellow human being, and that if he died, I'd feel nothing. And we sat there in this room for a while until I could barely stand it. Until I casually asked him if he knew when Claire was moving in. But there was nothing about Speedy to suggest that anyone had just spoken to him, and I was trying to decide whether to ask him again or just fuck off out or something, and he just goes, "She's here."
Dinner. Friday night. O'Hagan's house. A kind of welcome to the fold. And the elation of a huge salary in an interesting job, and having impressed these clean-shaven, tailor-made suits, was clashing with the embarrassment of having to present Mary to them. Suddenly I was thinking about my wife. It was all right when I was at Whelan's. All the wives looked the same. Down at the Christmas do in the old shieling. We moaned about them at the bar, the way they were squealing at each other, hysterical at being out of the house. Just a few weeks before, I'd been looking for some old accountancy textbooks in the press in the bedroom, and a load of chocolate fell out on top of me, and I just didn't even bother, that way. She took up half the couch and watched EastEnders, and I sat in the box room brushing up for the interview. O'Hagan rang me himself personally to tell me I'd got it. Cocktails and Gogarty's Monday night to say hello. Crawford, Griffin, Staunton, strong handshakes, what I presumed was Armani, all ex-rugby. And then one or two of their wives suddenly, and I'm like, holy fuck, easy, tiger. Me and me pennies blazer and me loafers from Dunn's. Hardly able, but trying to swallow these Glenmorangis being pressed into my fist. Swaying in the door. Colm and Mary curled up in the living room watching Friends. Colm, 9 years of age, constant cold, useless at sports, bullied until 3rd class. Until Mary went down and spoke to the head. Went down on her own. Because there was simply only so much I could fit in. And the head dealt with it. And I drove Mary and Colm wherever they wanted to go at the weekends, and although I wouldn't say I was necessarily a quiet person, I hardly said a fucking word. Dinner in O'Hagan's house Friday night. I whined at Mary about how I needed to dress better, and she took me from shop to shop, and I shelled out for 3 suits, cotton shorts, silk ties. Catching Mary smiling and seeing what there was to see in her when we were younger. But we weren't younger now, and I told her that dinner at O'Hagan's was staff only. No wives. That was another night. And for once I had something to treasure that I was looking forward to. A glittering jewel on the mountain at the top of Friday. And me trudging towards it, not wanting to get there too quickly, enjoying it in the middle distance, because I could see it, and it was mine. And it was going to happen.
Sister Pat knocked.